Hello, good evening, everyone, and yeah, good evening, Rahul. How you doing? Adish, yeah, Adish. Good evening. I'm good. I'm good. And how are you doing? Oh, Rahul, you remember? Yeah, the baby is doing great, and he's doing fine. The mom is also doing fine. She's recovering from the cesarean, and everything is good. Yeah, thank you, Raul. A very big baby. I think it's 9 pounds. The baby weighed 9 pounds. That's about 4.1 kilogram. That was pretty big anyway. And but they're all fine, and that's it. Yeah, see you. You're there. You've been missing for a couple of classes, Asia. Manu, Morali. Yeah. Good evening. Suvit, you're there. Mohammed, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, so today we're going to look at the next part of the decision tree. As we're moving on, it's getting a bit more difficult and more complicated. Life is not so easy, isn't it? Or is it? It's not so easy. There are certain decisions that are very easy for us to make. Like you want to go to the bathroom, you want to eat. It's pretty easy to make, but when it comes, there's certain decisions that you have to think and rethink again, and it's just very difficult to arrive at a, um, a good decision. And even in business, there are certain decisions that are very easy to make. Then there are other decisions that are a bit complex. So far, I hope the lesson has been very interesting. We've looked at situations where we can make easy decisions with the decision tree. The probability is very easy. We're looking at uh, mutually exclusive situations. One situation doesn't affect the other, and as we're moving along, we're going to look at decisions that influence other decisions. If you decide to do something now, it's going to affect the next thing you're supposed to do. But in the meantime, I wanted to ask how many people tried their hands on the question of yesterday. How many people tried their hands on the question of yesterday? We're moving on, and then we came up with a very beautiful method to take a screenshot of what we're doing, and so you can have the material at the moment. But at the end of the decision tree, I'm going to give you this same material. I'll send it through the code. I keep saying that over and over and over again because I get some students send emails that, sir, we want to have a copy of the material and stuff like that. So I don't want to break the material because if I break it, it's going to affect the flow. So I just want to keep it. And when we're done, and then I'm going to give it to you so you can use it for reference, and it's going to be more interesting. And then the exercises again, the answers are in the material. So if I give it to you, the fun will not be there. I like when we're trying, trying our hands on all of these things, and I see how you're making effort. Some of you are getting it right. Some of you try the first time, it doesn't work out, and then you try again. It's all part of learning. I really, really enjoy it. And I hope you do enjoy it as well. But just imagine that I just gave everything and then it's not going to be fun. And we're not really learning very well. So that's said and done. And if you look at the screen, can I take my video out now? It's enough, isn't it? Okay, so let the video not be a distraction. Okay, here you go. Okay, now we yesterday we looked at this particular decision tree, and we all remember how we got this value, don't we? Yeah, we all remember how we got it, and then some people tried. Yeah, was this in, what language is this? Ammon, you wrote first. Maria, I think it is. And then you changed it. Okay, Arabic. Okay. I thought it's maybe Arabic or Hindi or something, because the characters are a little bit, well, that's okay. It's exciting for me, you know, seeing these things, and it's pretty good. Okay, so let's go back, let's go down to the next part of it. There was an exercise which we looked at yesterday, but we didn't try to solve the problem. So let's try to look at it again today. Now, it starts the Xanadu traders. We said this is a continuation of example 1.1, which we already saw in the right up there. Last week, we did see it. So now, let's consider an expanded version of the decision that includes dependent uncertainties and extend the analysis procedure to handle these new issues. Yeah, Vinod, good evening. You're welcome. So we continue to follow the discussion between Daniel, the analyst, and George Xanadu. But that's okay, Vinod. So let's continue with their discussion. You remember we had a discussion between the two of them, the owner of the company and the analyst. So let's continue. Now the analyst says, maybe there is a way to reduce the risk. Now, what risk are we talking about here? Can anybody remember the risk? I want to make sure we're on the same level. Yeah, Rizzy, you're welcome. What is the risk the analyst is making mention of here? The ban, okay, Prabha says the ban, okay. Anyone has another risk of $1 million, okay. The fine, okay. Not having the permit, okay. Well, that's pretty interesting. At least I'm very happy that we can give this information that shows that at least we can remember what we've been doing so far. I'm really, really happy about the responses. Import license, that's true. Yeah, so there was some risk involved. There were lots of risk involved. That's very, very good. I love all your responses. Now, so the analyst says, maybe there is a way to reduce the risk. And let's look at the specific risk he's talking about. As I understand it, the reason you need to make a quick decision is that Zerdavia has also offered this deal to other brokers. So there are other people who are interested in this particular deal. And one of them may take it before you do. And if you take it before you do, then they're going to get the money and you're not going to get anything. Is that really very likely? So is it very likely that, you know, other dealers are going to get the deal? Perhaps you can apply for the import license and wait until you know whether it is approved before closing the deal with Zerdavia. Now let's see what Xanadu says. He says, that's not very likely. It's not very likely that other people are going to get the deal. Some of those brokers are pretty big operators, and dropping $1 million wouldn't make them lose any sleep. So if you're dealing with a rival with a very big company, if they lose $1 million, to them is not an issue. But for a small size firm like Zenado, it's a big issue. So I'd say there is a 0.7 probability. Again, let's note it down. There is a 0.7 probability that someone else will take Zeldavia's offer if I wait until import license comes through. So again, you look at this is a problem. As a manager, you always have this kind of problems. You have to make quick decisions. If you don't make them, something is going to happen. You're going to lose something. So he says there is a probability that if there's a 0.7 probability that if he doesn't make the license or get that product shipped now, someone else is going to go through the whole deal and take everything. Of course, it doesn't cost anything to apply for an import license. So maybe it is worth waiting to see what happens. Again, he's a little bit skeptical. If I get it, or should I get it? Should I wait? Should I, he's dancing between both lines. Let's see how it's going to turn out to be more complicated. And you put yourself in the company. Don't look at it from a far distance. Look at it from the company. Now I'll go back to that figure. I don't want you to see that figure up there because the answer to the question is there. So I don't want to show it to you. I want to hide it first. Now this is, should Zenado traders wait to see if an import license is issued before purchasing their molybdenum? What do you think? Should they wait or not? Anyway, let's look at. Now let's look at this tree. You can take a snapshot shot of it. Okay, Civil said they shouldn't wait. Go for it straight away. I love that. As a manager, you have to be bold. You have to make decisions and take the consequence. You don't have to be, play French politics, where you see the winning side and then you go to it. If at the very beginning you don't make a decision, you wait and see which side is winning. But play the bold, management style. Okay, now this is where we start. Can everybody see my mouse? Okay, I think I have to take a mouse here. Can you see it now? Okay, good. Now this is where we start. So what does EV mean again? Can somebody remind us what EV means? Let me see if we've forgotten it or we still remember it. Estimated value, expected value. Oh my God. So which one is true? Is it expected value or is estimated value? I don't know. Expected value? Expected value. Okay, please let's try not to forget. Okay, now these are the decisions we have to make. Okay, good. That's okay. If we purchase the product, this is what happened. We saw this the other day, right? Yesterday. If we purchase, this is it. If we purchase it for $5 a kilogram, the probability of success is if we are issued an import license, which is 0.5. So if we're issued with an import license, it means we're going to succeed. and then we're going to sell it for $8 a kg, and we're going to make $3 for every kilogram. Now, if we decide to purchase, and then we do, but we're not issued an import license, which is a 0.5 probability, then we're going to lose $1 for every kg, and then we saw the real value behind it. We multiply it by the number of kgs we wanted to buy. Now, if we don't purchase, then we're not losing anything. Okay, now this is the other way. If we decide to wait, like the paragraph or information we just got, now if we decide to wait, then we are not buying it. And then the probability that if we wait, we might get it and then move up to the same position up here is 0.5, which makes it more complex. So if that is the case, but again, the probability that we're not going to succeed, that someone else is going to get it, or get the license, is 0.7, which is very high. So if we wait for the license to be issued first before we purchase the molybdenum, then just by waiting, there is a probability that someone else will purchase it. And that probability is high, is 0.7. And if someone else doesn't purchase it, we have a 0.3 probability that we're going to get the license, and then we purchase it, and then we still make $3 per kg. This is about it's still the 3 million. So now with this detailed analysis, what would you do? Would you purchase it or would you wait? And do you know how we got this? No, before that, let's try to answer this. Again, I'm going to ask you this question. How did we get 0.9? I want to see the mathematics again, what we did yesterday. Explain the mathematics. How did we get 0.9? And how did, no, 0.9 first. .3 times 3? You know, that's a very short way to look at the problem. George is saying, yeah, you have to add everything. Yeah, I think Suvit is right. Again, it's the probability that we're going to succeed times the amount of dollars that we're going to make if we succeed, which is 0.3 times 3, plus the probability that we're not going to succeed times the amount of dollars we're going to lose, which is $0. So good, that's correct. And then you're going to have this expected value 0.9. So how did we get 0.45 then? That's very good. Everybody's getting it now. That's good. So how did we get 0.45? This now is very interesting. Okay, I see Suvit says 0. Wow, that is becoming very, very serious. Let's look at Eamon also gave another. I'm waiting to see all the different possibilities that you're going to send in, and then we'll look at it. How did we get the expected value at this point to be 0.45? Yeah, the expected value at this point is 0.9 because we considered all of this, these two arms. Now, how did we get 0.5? Which arms do we consider? That's really good. I think we're getting it now. I'm very happy with you. Okay, Sam wrote something interesting. Samuel says 0.5 times 3 plus 0.9 plus. That's really a little bit. Samuel, if you do that mathematics, are you going to have 0.45? Can you just try that on your calculator? Anyway, while you're trying that, I think most of you had it right. Now, this is something you consider. All of this arm, you stand to make 0.9. It's like here when we looked at this arm will give us $3. This arm will give us $0, and these are their probabilities. Now, all of this arm, all of this is one arm, the arm yes. So this yes arm is going to give us $0.9. And the probability of getting this $0.9 is 0.5. So you multiply the 0.5 times $0.9. And the probability of getting $0 from the no arm, you multiply the expected outcome times the probability. So most of you had it right. Okay, Samuel, that's okay. I love it when we keep trying it. We do it over and over and over again. It feels very good. I have the impression we're actually learning. So that's it. It's very easy. So the decision tree for this revised problem is shown in figure 1.6, which we've just seen. So is there any question on that particular decision tree? It's very easy, isn't it? Yeah, that's clear. I love that. Okay, let's move on. We're going to see a more complex decision tree. This thing is so excited. I was really excited, waiting for the class today. Now, what is the expected value for the weight alternative? We've seen that also up above, which we've already done the mathematics. Now, the process of determining the expected value for this alternative involves two stages of calculation. In particular, it is necessary to start at the right side of the decision tree. The right side of the decision tree we already did, and we had $0.9. And carry out successive calculation working towards the root node. The root node is where the decision tree begins of the tree. Specifically, the first determining the expected value or the alternative, assuming that the input license is issued. So the yes arm, which we already had, was very clear. And then we went now to the no arm, which is down. So, and then this result, to calculate that result of the expected value for the weight arm, we can get the expected value for the weight arm. Now, examine figure 1.6 to see how this calculation process works. As these figures show, if the input license is issued, then there is a 0.3 probability. Now, the question I want to ask, okay, I already asked you, and most of you said you're not going to wait. Because if you wait, there's a 0.3 probability that you're going to make it, which is very low. that the mollusconium will still be available. So if you wait, you have a 0.3 probability that is still going to be available. Again, it's the risk, but again, that is why we are doing the decision tree, so it can help us to make a decision that involves some risk. In this case, Xanadu will pay $5 million for the mollusconium and sell it for $8 million, realizing $3 million in net profit. Now, if the mollusconium is not still available, then Xanadu will not have to pay anything and will realize no net profit. So again, there is a low risk to wait in terms of not losing anything if you don't get the license, but there is a high risk that someone else is going to purchase the mollusconium. I don't know if you get it. Now let's go back to that tree. This is very important. Let's look at it. When we looked at this portion, let me try to map it out. I'm sorry, I don't have a drawing board, so I'm using my mouse to do this. That's why it's not very beautiful. Okay, can everyone see this? At this point, we had a very high risk, equal risk to purchase or not to purchase. Now, if we go on to purchase and then we have the license, there is a 0.5 probability that we're going to have the license. So we make $3 million. And if we don't have the license, we lose $1 million. Now, look at the next arm, this one down. Look at what happens. If we wait, the chances of us succeeding in this particular deal is only 0.3. So if we wait, there is a high probability that some other company is going to purchase the mollusconium. And if they do, then we're going to make 0 because it's no longer going to be available. But if they don't, we have a 0.3 probability that we can succeed and make. But in this case, what is different? Can somebody tell us what's the difference between these two? Let me see how you can do the analysis and see the reasoning. What's the difference between this arm and this arm? Profit figure, Prabha says profit figure. Does anybody support that? Are the profits different? I don't think so, because here the profit, lost figure. What do you mean lost figure, Ayman? Okay, Savid is still asking which arm. Now we have two, purchase or wait. So we're comparing this purchase arm and with the wait arm. What is the difference between this purchase arm and the wait arm? What's the difference? What's the comparison? Yeah, correct, Savid. Purchase and wait. What's the difference between these two? From a manager's point of view, I want you to speak like a manager now, because I want to believe that we've been able to make some managers out of you. So take the decision. Savid's the expected value. Well, the expected values are different, yeah. But from a decision point of view, what's the difference? Prabha says high risk of losing business. Where? Register is the one to take best available price. Okay, Vinod says, I would say to purchase. Yeah, but that's very interesting. Yeah, but why do you want to purchase? That's the question I'm asking. Based on these two analysis, why do you want to purchase, or why would you not want to purchase? Or what is the difference between these two? So Vinod says, even if you wait, you have the same profit. Okay, Vinod, yeah, that's true, but something is missing. Nothing to lose. Somebody's gonna get it, I think. I'm gonna say alternative solution. There is no alternative. Okay, let me put the question in another way. If you purchase, you still make $3 million. Is that true? If you purchase, you make $3 million. The lost profit, okay, let me see. If you wait, there is. Yeah, somebody said, that's good. Somebody talked about it, but didn't elaborate. Yeah, when you look at the expected value, purchasing is best because you have $1. While you wait, the expected value goes down to that is $0.45. That is a good analysis. Who is that? That is Samuel. Samuel, that's very good. And Francis also had the same. Who again had the same? Now, let's look at what was happening. Again, not only from the expected value, if you purchase, you have a 0.5% chance of making $3 million. Yeah, I was trying to remember Suvit. Suvit was the one who first said expected value. But I wanted you to add a little bit. So maybe Suvit is the one who gave an idea to the other people to develop one. Thanks, Suvit. That's pretty cool. So if you purchase immediately, you have a zero. Now, I wanted you to look at this value. You have a 0.5% probability that you're going to make $3 million. If you wait, you have a less. I even give you a hint by circling this one and not circling this one. If you wait, you only have a 0.3% probability of making the same net profit. So the profit is not going to change. But again, the risk will increase. So if you wait, the risk is more. Somebody talked about risk. That's very, very correct. If you wait, the risk is more, but if you purchase immediately, the risk is low. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's move on. Let me get my mouse. I think it's tough to get it. Okay. So we already got the expected value of the weight arm, and now the process of determining the expected value for this alternative involves two stages of calculation, which we already did, right? We got the expected value of the upper arm, and we use it in the expected value of the lower arm. So we don't need to go back to it again. So we already saw how we got the expected value. No need to go back to it. This is all the explanation we've just had. So let's move on to the next part of it. Now, this is the process of sequentially determining expected value when there are dependent uncertainties in a decision tree as demonstrated in figure 1.6, is called decision tree rollback. Again, take this point, it's important. When there is some, for example, you wait for the license. You wait for the license to be issued. That is a dependent, uncertainty. You're waiting for something without 100% certainty that they're going to give it to you. So this is called a decision tree rollback. It holds you back. It's a rollback. This term is defined as follows. So the process of successively calculating expected values from the end point of the decision tree to the root node, as demonstrated in this section, is called decision tree rollback. So you realize we took it from the right hand and then we calculated going backward. Let me go back to the diagram again. And now what we did, we calculated this one first. This is the right arm, the right side. We got the value, the expected value 0.9. And then we used the value coming to the left arm and calculated the expected value of this one. So we didn't start from here going to this one. So you remember you always start from the right side, this side, and then going backward. So that's just what that definition is trying to tell us. Okay, so sequential decisions. Now this is very interesting. You're going to see a more complex decision tree, and it's very interesting. In addition to dependent uncertainties, real business decisions often include sequential decisions. This section considers an example that demonstrates how to address sequential decisions. Now, let's understand what sequential decision is. Let's look at an example of ABC Computer Company. I hope many people know about ABC Computer Company. Now, ABC Computer Company is considering submission of a bid for a government contract to provide 10,000 specialized computers for use in computer-aided design. Now, again, this is the big deal, to provide 10,000 specialized computers. So if you have a pen and a paper, you start taking down your points like we did in the other sessions. Now, 10,000. Now, there is only one other potential bidder. Again, what is the probability there? Oh, the answer is somewhere there. Somebody's going to see it. If there is only one other potential bidder, 50-50, that's good. Oh, some said one. Yeah, it's one half. It's 50-50 because there are only two of them. There is only one other potential bidder for this contract, complex computer. So it either goes to complex computer or it goes to ABC computer company. So there are two of them, so it's a 50-50 chance at this point. Now, and how the low bidder will receive the contract. ABC's bidding decision is complicated by the fact that ABC is currently working on a new process to manufacture the computers. If this process works as hoped, again, this is something they are not sure of. If it works, so that is, there is a probability. If it works, how much probability we don't know yet. Then it may substantially lower the cost of making the computers. However, there is some chance that the new process will actually be more expensive than the current manufacturing process. Unfortunately, ABC will not be able to determine the cost of the new process without actually using it to manufacture the computers. Now, let's go to the real figures. If ABC decides to bid, it will make one of three bids. The first one, $9,500 per computer, $8,500 per computer, or $7,500 per computer. Sorry about that. Now, let's see what happens. If Again, take down the three prices. There is a $9,500, there is $8,500, and there is $7,500. Now, Complex Computers is certain to bid, and it is equally likely that Complex will bid $10,000 per computer, $9,000 per computer, or $8,000 per computer. Now, if ABC decides to bid, then it will cost $1 million to prepare the bid due to the requirement that a prototype computer be included with the bid. We know what is a prototype, right? It's maybe like a sample, right? This is a sample, and to produce a sample is worth $1 million. And you're not even sure that you're going to get it, right? But you need a sample that will cost you $1 million. So this $1 million will be totally lost regardless of whether ABC wins or lose the bidding competition. Now, let's see. First of all, let me ask a question. Would you go in for it? How many people will go in for it? If you were ABC's manager, would you go in for the bid? Let's see. Some very tough managers say yes, yes, yes. Okay. I like when people make decisions. That's good. So let's not be like some managers who are hiding behind. Now, with ABC's current manufacturing process, it is certain to cost $8,000 per computer to make each computer. To make each computer is going to cost them $8,000. This is the cost of manufacturing. With the process new manufacturing process, there is a 0.25 probability that the manufacturing cost will be $5,000. So this is a low probability that the manufacturing cost would leave $8,000 to $9,000 to $5,000 per computer, and 50% probability that the costs will be $7,500 per computer. So again, 0.25% probability that it will cost them $5,000 to manufacture one computer, and 50% probability that it will cost them $7,500 per computer. Unfortunately, there is also a 0.25 probability that the cost will be $8,500 per computer. Now, can somebody do that on a decision tree? Would you go in for it? This is the biggest question since we started. The information is in front of you. This is the entire information. So should ABC Computer Company submit a bid? That's the question. And if so, what should they bid per computer? How much should they bid per computer? This is a great, anybody who can successfully come up with a probability or with a decision tree on this particular issue, believe me, you've already made yourself one of the best managers. Because these are some of the complex situations you find in companies, right? You have to look at the cost price, you have to look at other competitors, you have to look, and yet you have to make decisions. So the question is, okay, ABC bid. Okay, you say ABC should bid with $700,500 per computer. Okay, so why did you say that? How did you arrive at that conclusion? I don't know how we can look at people's decision tree, but it would have been very interesting if we could have people's decision tree on the screen. But again, I don't know how that's going to be possible. It's really, really interesting. Believe me, if you can solve this particular problem, that's it. You don't even need to attend classes again. You just pack your bag and go get yourself a good job and make decisions with a lot of confidence. Because at this point, you're able to analyze before you make decisions in a very, very, professional way. So did anybody come up with anything? It's going to take a little bit. I don't know, maybe I can give a couple of more minutes. Because even in a meeting, you're sitting in a meeting and then this kind of thing comes up. You can see how if you have a pen and a piece of paper handy, just within you can just do some mathematics and you make a decision. And if anyone asks you why you made a particular decision, you can easily explain to them that you looked at the expected value, you looked at lots of other things, and then you made your decision. Again, there is a very important point. I didn't want to go back to it. I didn't want to go to it, but I just want to touch it again. Remember, there is a $1 million prototype costs. $1 million prototype costs. If you get it right, if you don't get it right, then this money is gone. Sweet says it's complicated. That is it, Sweet. I love that. That is why you're a manager, to handle the complicated stuff so other people can handle the less complicated stuff. Isn't it? And that's why everyone cannot be a manager, right? So it says 7,500 is not practical. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's look at it before we go. Should we look at it in class today, or should I give you as an assignment? Should we look at it and I give you the next one as an assignment, or I can leave this one as an assignment? Francis says ABC can bid 5,000 per computer. Wow, that's interesting. Submit says impossible. Yeah, guys, I want everybody to try. Now, everything is on the screen. Everything is on the screen. Now, let me take it again. These are the different bits that ABC is considering. 9,500 per computer to sell to the government, or 8,500 per computer to sell, or 7,500. So these are the three bits, and they don't know which one to bid. And then the other company, Complex, who is a rival, they want to bid 10,000 per computer, 9,000 per computer, and 8,000 per computer. This is their consideration. Now, but before any of these two companies get into the bid, they have to submit a prototype. That is, they have to submit a sample how the system, the computer process will work. And that, to develop that prototype, it will cost $1 million. So whether you win the bid or not, this $1 million is gone. Because you produce the prototype, you submit the prototype, and then they look at the prototype, which one is better. If you win, that's fine. If you don't, whether you win or not, this one is gone. So to have this contract, to get the bid, you're already losing $1 million. And again, look at the number of computers you have. There are 10,000 computers. If one computer is going to cost maybe that much, okay, so let's say you fix it at $8,500. Okay, that's very good. I love the way we've tried it. Let's go look at it a little bit. I'm going to show you the diagram, the tree diagram for this picture. Anyone wants to add something to it? Okay, it's too big. We cannot even go through it on the screen. Let me reduce the size a bit. Okay. Again, it's too big. Let me reduce again. Okay, that's it. Can everybody see it? That's fine. Okay, let's start from left. We start from left to right when we're doing the analysis. Now, these are the different possibilities. There are four possibilities. The first one is ABC bids 9,500 per computer. If they bid 9,500 per computer, they have a 1/3. Now, how many bids are there? There are 3, right? Yeah, if I zoom, okay, and 9,500 is just one of those bits, right? So it's 1/3. And then there are still 2/3 left. So I want to explain how we got the 1/3 probability and how we got the 2/3 probability, right? So there are there's 9,500, then there are 2 more left. And they have to build, hello? Somebody says I should zoom to 100. Is it still too big? Can everybody see every arm of the tree diagram? Okay, that's fine. Okay, I was a little bit worried somebody was cut off. Something tells me I shouldn't explain this. I'm not going to be helping. I'll be making it very uncomfortable. I'll not help you to think about it from the management point of view. Because one of the requirements we had at IMTS is that we want to make sure that everybody who passes through IMTS is able to think critically. And this is a very important decision. And I don't want to explain. Maybe I'll just give this decision tree and then wait for your explanation. Because if I explain, I'm going to talk about where this one is coming from, where this EV is coming from, but I want you to get it. So can somebody tell us, first of all, where this expected value, $22 $2.75. Where is it coming from? How did we get this? Let's start again from our simple. Let's start from what we already know and then go to what we do not know. So let's start from the right-hand side. How did we get this expected value? After getting all this expected value, then I'm going to explain how we got to this point. But by then I'm sure some of you should be able to figure it out yourself. The more you try to do it yourself, the better for you. The more it helps you to, think analytically and critically. So how did we get $22.75? Can somebody tell us that? Okay, we have. Let's see. So it says 1/4 probability times $9, and then 1/2 probability times $19, and 1/4 probability times $44. Let's see. George says 0.9. Is it 0.9 times 25? Okay, 9 times 25. Where did you get 25? Is it 25% or something? Okay, everybody should take a snapshot of this. Those who, I don't know, if you have a Windows 8, you can touch the Windows button and then you press the print screen. I don't know, Windows 7, how do you do that? You can. Okay, 0.25. Yeah, I didn't see the point. It's correct. If it's 0.25, then it's correct, George. You're right. But I didn't see the point. That is why I was kind of a little bit like, where is the 25 coming from? That's very correct. Oh, you can also use snipping tool. That's good, Suvit. So please, everybody use a snipping tool if you have one. If you don't, you can print the screen. So we can talk about this again. I want to give you these few days. The next class we're going to have is on Wednesday. So I want to give you these few days to think about it. Now, has everybody had a screenshot of it? Yes, I want to go back up. I want to take us up again. Okay, Rahul did, George did, Samu did, yeah, Prabha did, Vinod, Manu, Savid, Mohammed did, okay. Yeah, Rafiq, Razi did. Asiya, what about you? Rashid. Yeah, Shibin did. Ayman did. Okay, good. Okay. Shibin. Okay, can I move it now? Okay, Francis did as well. Okay, so this again is the question. You can take it down, and we are going to look at this in our next class. So thank you. I hope the class was interesting. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.